Hi everyone, my name is Brandon Breyer and I'm currently a 2L at Cincinnati Law. This past summer and fall, I've had the opportunity to work as a law clerk for the Department of Justice at the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Ohio. As a law clerk, I assist federal prosecutors both in defending civil cases against the government, its agencies, and its employees, as well as prosecuting cases on behalf of the federal government. So it's been through this experience that I've had amazing opportunities to write briefs to the United States Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit, to all of the district courts in the Southern District of Ohio. I've got to attend court proceedings, I've attended depositions, preliminary hearings, and participated in negotiations, drafted settlements, and also plea agreements. So it's been a really rewarding and amazing opportunity. So as a prospective law student, most of my decision making was where can I get a job? That's ultimately the most important thing. And my decision to attend Cincinnati Law was so easy once I realized the amount and the number of amazing opportunities that are available here in the Cincinnati region and the connections that are built through Cincinnati Law. And so that expectation, of course, became a reality when it came time to interview for summer positions. My interview process was set up by the central portal for all law students. And I saw the posting for the United States Attorney's Office, and it immediately piqued my interest. And upon conducting a little bit more background research, it was noted as a really great opportunity and something that I would be really interested in doing. And so I found my interview process to be more fun rather than scary or daunting, and I think that's probably typical, and most of my other law student colleagues would tell you the same thing for their experience. And so I was able to fortunately interview pre-pandemic, and I got to interview with a lot of the assistant United States attorneys, got to tour the office, got to have a really meaningful, engaging and productive interview process. And it's always said that Cincinnati may be a larger city, but its legal community is really tight-knit and close and supportive of each other. And I found that true both in my interview and while I was working this summer, but also outside of the interview, I was able to reach out to both Cincinnati Law alumni, but also alumni of the United States Attorney's Office program who were former clerks. And just reached out, they responded really quickly, were able to have lunch or get coffee with me and just talk about and reaffirm how great of a program it is. And so all of my expectations about Cincinnati Law that I made as a prospective student really bore true when I was trying to find summer employment. So entering law school, I had absolutely zero idea of what practice area I wanted to be in, which I think is normal for most law students. And even if you have an idea, it usually ends up changing after your first year. But that's why the summer was so important for me, was because I had somewhat of an idea of what I might want to do, but I got to test that in practice. And so that was why the first summer and at the U.S. Attorney's Office was so special for me, was because it allowed me to work on both criminal and civil work, and that's kind of the first big split. And I found myself really interested in the civil aspect and all of the civil cases that I got to work on. But then, oddly enough, I liked the litigation aspect and the work that I did litigation-wise in my criminal cases, that I kind of pieced that together and found that I'm most interested in civil litigation. And that was something that kind of lived up here in my head after my first year, but it was really great to reaffirm that in practice and actually do the work and really enjoy it. And so for that reason, my summer was invaluable because it set the tone for the remainder of my career, what I'm really interested in doing, which I think is really important because Cincinnati Law and our professors have extensive experience before becoming professors in this area, so you can talk to them a lot about what you might be interested in doing, which I did, and then our classes do a great job in your first year setting up some areas that you might be interested in. And so your first summer is great for putting that to the test, and it really sets the tone for the rest of your career because you get to do some substantive work. It's, you're not getting coffee or doing paperwork, you're actually working in the area of the law that you might be interested in working in. And it is good both for those who find what they want to do, but also great for those that find what they don't want to do. And so for that reason, it's invaluable. And then for me personally, I absolutely loved the work I did at the U.S. Attorney's Office and can 100% see myself returning after a career in private practice to work at the United States Attorney's Office and be a AUSA and work on behalf of the government, because I really enjoyed the work that I did. So as a current Cincinnati law student and having just completed my first summer of work, I wanted to give some insight and reflect on my summer experience and also ultimately give some advice. So my first insight is to take advantage of every opportunity that comes before you, no matter how strange or unexpected it may be. So if you had asked me during my first year of law school to make a list of the top 10 things that I wanted to be doing or expected to be doing, clerking at the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Department of Justice wouldn't have even been on the list. It wouldn't have even come close, nothing like it. But it was just one of those experiences that came before me as I was scrolling on our job portal, and I said, I'm gonna go for it. And I think that's a habit of really great opportunities, is they put themselves before you at the right time, in the right space, in the right moment, and I think you should just take it and go for it, because it may not be something that you are expecting yourself to do, or it may not be something that you think you should be doing, but ultimately it has and I think most of my law student colleagues will say this, is your first summer work has a great opportunity to change the course of what you will do as a future attorney and really identify great areas that you may not have thought of being interested in that you now are. And so I think that those kind of hidden in disguise opportunities are really great, and the only way to find them is to take them when they are put before you. So that's my piece of advice. And my greatest reflection from this summer is not so much as a future attorney, but as a human and as a person. I myself, and I think most of society, come in with certain stereotypes about different things, and specific to my experience, I got to break down those stereotypes about prosecutors and about criminal defendants. And so my first observation was working closely with them that prosecutors are really fun, they're really dedicated, they're hardworking, compassionate individuals who care about ensuring that the law is equally applied and that the communities that they live in are kept safe. And likewise, criminal defendants have a certain reputation in society, but I had great conversations with a lot of criminal defendants, and they're people too. They have different unique insights on life, and they have families, and they have friends, and children, and acquaintances, and society treats them and paints them in a certain light that I didn't really find to be true through my experience. And so this gave me a really great and a more complete and whole perspective on what our justice system is and what it means, and how it can best reflect the realities rather than stereotypes. And so my greatest piece of advice is to go to Cincinnati Law. The access that I've had to meaningful and really career-setting experiences in the city and in this school and in this community is unparalleled. And I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do what I did this summer and what I will continue to do in my future had I not had access to the fabulous experiences both with Cincinnati faculty, with Cincinnati law community, and Cincinnati alumni. And so my greatest advice is to go to Cincinnati Law. The opportunities are endless. So thank you for your time, and I hope to see you all here in the future.